So I'll start us off with the new format that we're doing here, picking a breakout room. Depending on how many people show up due to some technical difficulties Brian was just talking about, we might all be in one room. Who knows? So we'll kind of play it by ear today. But we can go over any of these topics. I think we have the capability to do this. We've got SEO people, graphic design, website, business and life organization, I do believe, and then content creation peeps as well. So if you have a specific focus area when we jump into our breakouts, please just let us know and we'll do our best to facilitate. All right, so this week, talking about building meaningful connections with LinkedIn, and this is near and dear to my heart. Two main lead generation sources that I use are LinkedIn and YouTube. And I use them kind of to feed one to feed the other and then vice versa. So it works very well. But today we're here just to focus on LinkedIn. And what I really wanted to share was the kind of the purpose behind what I've done in my lead generation systems, as well as the actual system itself. So we'll do a little bit of the presentation here that you're seeing now, and then I'll share my screen and we'll kind of go over an older flow. It's not the exact one that I use today, but it's very, very close. The one that I'm going to show you is one from my previous focus area, which was a little bit broader in scope of people that I was trying to serve. So yeah, let's just dive into it. So the ways to make this happen for yourself, and if you're a person who's using LinkedIn to navigate the world of lead generation, relationship building, you know that it can kind of be a time suck. And when you then evaluate it, you're like, oh, that was not very valuable. I could have been using my time more wisely. So what I did, because I had that same issue, is I found it very helpful to systematize or build a process and schedule it out. So the first thing that I would do to actually get control of my day and putting purpose into the time that I'm using to build relationships on LinkedIn is schedule time to do it. When I'm doing it just kind of haphazardly when I have time, in air quotes here, it doesn't really happen. You know, it can either be a 2-minute thing, or I can get sucked into scrolling the feed, looking at posts, and I don't actually do my relationship building. So I schedule the time to do it, and I do it with a very unique focus. So the next thing I needed to do was I needed to build a system so that I could make it super simple for myself to not feel overburdened on what I have to do to actually, build a conversation with all these people I'm reaching out to and forming relationships with, and adding value, giving them more value that I'm ever expecting in return. And then I had to make it easy to follow. So I had to really go back to the KISS method of keep it super simple. And then lastly, I'm very goal oriented, and I find that I operate best when I have an end state that I'm trying to achieve. So I create a goal and then I track my progress, and I do it weekly. You can pick your cadence, but I think that weekly is kind of a good area to follow. So here is a bit of an overview, just a screenshot of what I'm going to get into here in just a moment. But you can see here, I've literally broken it down into 4 steps, made it very simple for myself. And I do apologize. My dog is trying to kill the outside. So I hope that is not coming through too terribly. But I had to make it this simple for myself to follow, and I had to do it in a system that I kind of live in every day. So I use a tool called Notion, but you can do it however you like. You could do it in a spreadsheet. You could do it in Trello or Asana or anything like that. And you could write it down on paper and you just do it that way. I like to have it in a more digital format so that I can quickly copy paste, and then I know exactly what pieces to edit. And I always know what I'm going to be providing as my value adds. So I'll go back and update these kind of periodically with new pieces of value. Maybe it's a lead magnet that I might offer. So giving something away for free, like a PDF or a unique video where I go over something very in depth and can add a lot of value to this new relationship that I'm forming. And then I always go back and ask about it. So without further ado, let me share my screen, my other screen. All right. You guys should be seeing LinkedIn prospecting generation. Thumbs up, head nod. Good. Okay, sweet. So what I did here is to make it super simple for myself. I literally did it in a step-by-step process, as I just said. So each one of these is its own card and it opens up. So I know exactly what I am looking at. So I want to find profiles. This is when I'm doing connection outreach. So I've already identified my target market here. So I want people that are US based. I want them to be second and or third connections of myself. And then I want to kind of focus on these titles. So I've literally just outlined them. I can copy and paste this into LinkedIn, into the search, and just, that's my search criteria, meeting all of that, US base, second or third connection, and then all of these job titles. Made it super, super easy for myself, copy paste, keeping it super simple. The next thing I do is I give a note or a personal connection in my outreach. So a lot of this is just kind of templatized, but I give myself a couple different versions to choose from. They're all very similar, but they're not exactly the same. And I often will either connect myself in some way because I'm looking at their profiles when I'm doing this. So I copy this, paste it in, update their first name. And then on this one, it's someone who I literally found in the people you may know section. The next one down is I'm connected to them. So if I see that I have a mutual connection, I will share that information because it then feels like I'm actually doing it. I'm looking at their profile. I'm examining them. I'm not just a robot out scraping the internet and making connection names. And then the last one, I think it might just be a different way of saying the last piece, but you kind of get the point here. I'm giving myself a little bit of leeway, but also giving an early templatized thing that I can copy paste and kind of do this with everybody. The next thing is once they have actually accepted my connection, I thank them. I thank them for the connection. Now, I used to start out with this of, I'd add their first name in there, comma, great to be connected. Looking forward to sharing knowledge with you here on LinkedIn. In case you're curious, this is what I do and who I help. So being very clear and purposeful upfront, telling them what I do. And then this one, is it this one? Oh, I might not have put it in here, but as a closing statement, instead of the cheers or thank you, whatever, I end with a question of who can I connect you with? Trying to get a conversation started. Like why are you on LinkedIn? Who can I connect you with and help to build even more value for you? After that, within a day or two, I will follow up. And on my new process, this is all literally timed out, so I know how many days between each happens. But I have my first value add, and I literally call it value add number 1. So I again have a templatized method or message here, and then I give them some opportunities to take a next step with me. So if you have 30 minutes, I'll show you exactly how I can get you qualified leads via Zoom. And then this piece right here is, not sure if you saw my latest article here on LinkedIn, which at the time, this was my latest article on LinkedIn. It is not now, but I would give them a direct link to it because you can do that. LinkedIn encourages you to stay on the platform as a user. And anytime you're sharing content, they like it when you are sharing content that is already on their network. So why not make it easy? This was actually, I just literally copied and pasted it from a blog post that I had on my website. And I tweaked the front of it and just said, hey, this is a full post on my website. You can check out the whole thing. And at the end, I gave them another reminder. So you get it right at the top and you get it down at the bottom. But the point is, I kept them on LinkedIn by creating an article on LinkedIn on the platform. And then I gave them the call to action here of hope you enjoy it. And if you do, give them that ask, right? You want to like it, comment it, and share it with your network. I'd really appreciate it. So after the value add number 1, I go through and I actually start engaging with their profile a little bit more. I'll go through and find some of the recent connections that they've had or recent posts or articles that they've done. If they haven't done anything themselves, but they are still active on the platform, they're liking other posts, they're giving reactions now. You can tell how old this was. Like was the only reaction that they had at the time. I will go through and I will actually read those posts and I will call them out if I think that there is something unique about it, or if I found something cool but they didn't comment, I might tag them in that post in a comment and say, hey, I love this piece. I'm so glad I checked it out. Thank you for sharing it. What did you think about this? Trying again to get back into their system. And excuse me, not system, their mindset. So getting back in front of them and actually engaging them in the conversation. And then the next one is referencing the article that I linked them to. So again, I'm still furthering the conversation, building rapport and likability there. And then after that, after we've gone back and forth, I end my pre-formatted sequence here with something that I want them to engage with. So give them something that it links off to my site. It's a download. It actually gets them into my funnel. And that's how I use LinkedIn and this system to build leads, build relationships, and build rapport. Do you have any questions? Nobody. Blown away. I blew everyone's mind.
Matt,
Yes,
how often do you do this?
How often do I do it? I do it every day. So every day I spend about between an hour and 2 hours, depending on what's going on in my day. But I dedicate at least an hour a day to building connections on LinkedIn. It's very important for my business, building those relationships. I recommend doing it quite often. But again, just make it work with your schedule. So if you know that you can only dedicate 20 minutes to it every day, get started. Do 20 minutes. That's totally cool.
Matt, oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sheila.
no, jump in. Kelly, you're next, and then we'll go to Sheila.
So LinkedIn is a little bit abstract to me. I haven't really played with it much, and it's one of my goals to do. So that's why this actually was really important to me. And all of our businesses are a little bit different. But I'm not active on LinkedIn. So first thing is, how important is it to be active before you start reaching out to people? I think that's question number one. And the second question is, if how much follow-up do you feel? I've heard there's rules of 4-3-3 or 3-4-3, or just different rules. How much do you think that it would be? Like, what has been your gauge on connecting with somebody, reconnecting with them, and reconnecting with them a third, fourth, fifth time? How many would you say?
Great questions. I'll kind of answer them both with one response. So first and foremost, what I do in that outreach, so when I'm creating my search and I've got that criteria and I'm looking at people's profiles, the first thing I do is I see, have they done anything on LinkedIn in the past 2 weeks? And then if they have, great, I move forward with my system. If they haven't done anything in the past 2 weeks or even the past 2 months, I don't even mess with them because they're not active on the platform. Like, I don't care about them. To that point, to answer your first question, I would say be as active as you can be. If you're doing a system like this, your engagement with other people's posts, even if it's leaving comments in order to tag someone that you want to start a conversation with or build a relationship with, then that's going to be activity, right? So you don't have to go out and share a bunch of content or create a bunch of content to get value out of using the platform. All social networks are meant to build conversation. They're not marketing and advertising tools. We've just adopted them in that fashion. The thing to remember is that their core tenet is to build a community. That's it. So if you're participating in the community, that's all that you really need to care about. Is that helpful? All right, cool. Candance. Oh, excuse me. Sheila first and then Candance.
Question. I went on LinkedIn the other day and noticed this, and I just went back out there just now. Did it not used to be where you could search by like people or business and you had all these little things? And I can't seem to find that. Did they change it? Because now I just have one single search bar up there and that's it.
Yeah, they did kind of change it. You have to go into the search function. So I usually start with like a job title. And then once you get in, I can actually walk you through. 1 second. All right. So within the search, if you just start with, I don't know, CEO. You can then add the filters here right at the top to, oh, hold on. Let me get into the proper area here. There you go. So now we can add the filters. So you get these as the top filters that most people use, but you can just open this all filters tab and it gets much more specific.
Look at that. Thank you very much.
Yes, of course. Always here to help.
And then is there any value every time I've gone into that search box, it keeps saying, do you want to delete your history, your recent searches? And when I go to clear it, it's like, oh, I don't know if you want to do that. Does it matter?
I don't think so. The LinkedIn gives you the opportunity, like for sales professionals, they don't all like, they're constantly looking at people and trying to prospect and build their list. You can change your profile to be just like anonymous if you want to. I don't recommend it because if the goal that you're setting out to achieve is to build relationships and make connections, why would it matter if someone knows that you're looking at their profile? It's actually quite beneficial so that it doesn't seem rando creepy when you make a LinkedIn request with a personalized message, especially if you don't know them.
Yeah, I actually meant the search history. It's asking me when I say to clear my search history, it's like, oh, we're not sure you want to do that. So I was like, okay, but thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right, Candance, over to you.
Can you share the name of the app that you use to create your system?
It's called it's called Notion. You can go to it, notion.so.
Okay.
It's a rather robust tool, and there's definitely a learning curve to using it, but Trello is much simpler. Asana is much simpler. Brian, what do we have do we have Asana in our business tools? Yeah, Asana.
Monday.com is also available.
Oh yeah, and Monday.com. In any of the project management tools are very helpful for this. Anything for me, I'm a very visual person and I'm very visual driven. So if I can't see it literally in that step-by-step process, I kind of ruin the process. So that's why I built that for myself.
Okay, great. And what's the cost for any of those tools that you mentioned?
I think all of them you can use for free. I don't know about Monday.com. Do they have a free trial, Brian?
I don't know if they have. I know they have a free trial, but I don't believe they have a freemium version of Monday. Like where?
Okay. Yeah, but Trello you can use for free. Asana you can use for free. Notion you can use for free. All of them are, as Brian said, the freemium model, so they do have more things that you could pay to get access to. But if you're just using it for this and building a visual process,
they do.
On the free plan.
Monday.com does also have but it's up to a certain number of seats.
Oh, okay.
So if you're just looking at for yourself and one other person, it's 2 seats for free.
Okay.
And if you go, let me put in the link Monday. I'll put in Monday.com because we have with Monday.com with I believe you get a 60-day trial. 1 second here.
And a technical question on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So I went in today, didn't know you were talking about it, but I went in today and I updated my profile on some of the boards that I sit on and other boards that I chair. And all of a sudden that became my headline on my profile. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, why I did indicate that this was it wasn't an employed position, but they made it my headline. So I was able to go back in and make the adjustment. Is that something you need to pay attention to every time you make an update? It's going to put that thing as your headline.
Yeah, so. It could do that. And if you go into your settings and there's, I can't remember what they call it, but basically it's in like profile updates, and it will ask you like, if you make a profile update, do you want to share that with your network? Ow, don't bite me.
Can't bark, I can bite. You don't want me to bark, you gotta bite.
She's very annoyed that I am not playing with her right now. But
I don't have a bird this time. That's normally me and the bird.
yeah, right. So, but yeah, there are some settings, and
Okay.
I can take a note on that and kind of walk through if that would help. Would that be helpful for more than just Candance? If it's not, I'll just film a little video for her. Or would anyone else benefit from that?
Matt, I think that we all would benefit from many things on LinkedIn. Just
Okay.
LinkedIn, period. Can you just do our LinkedIns for us?
Sure. I'll send you a link, and you can drop me some money, and then I'll update all your LinkedIn profiles.
Yes.
There's always
And-
something to go along with it.
Oh
And-
yeah.
And the last thing I wanted to ask Matt too is it
Yes.
seems like initially LinkedIn was really professional engagements. It wasn't like Facebook, where Facebook is every and anything that you want
Yeah.
to talk about. But I'm seeing more of those similar types of Facebook posting entering onto LinkedIn. So is the platform kind of changing, becoming more casual, less professional?
I have an opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the platform is changing. I think, as I said earlier, marketers and advertisers do what they want because they see a lot of people paying attention in a certain place, so they'll go and try and capitalize on that. You also find that people just want to be internet trolls and tell the internet what they think about all things, and they're gonna do that on any platform they can possibly get in front of people. So like the election, for example, there were lots of people on both sides of many different things posting, and they showed up in my feed. I just unfollowed all those people. I removed my connections because I don't care about them. If that's what they want to do on that social network, I no longer need to be connected with you. That's just my personal take on it. Man, she is really tenacious. Brian, I'll hand it over to you for your personal take on it.
I think the reason you're seeing more non-business related posting on LinkedIn stems almost entirely from it's bigger now. It was beforehand, they were very much positioned themselves as a place to go find jobs, a place to for salespeople to connect, but they opened up their platform to be a broader, business platform, but by opening it up as they did and kind of making it less about those two specific things, is about sales and job hunting. They broadened the conversation topics, and thus they became somewhat the same as all the other ones in that sense. So I think it's a nature of growth.
And what are your thoughts about the premier version versus the free version?
It just depends on what you're using it for.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. My perspective is, if you need it, you need it. But if you haven't found a reason yet, you probably don't need it.
Right. Yep.
Go look at the features, and if any of those say, I need those.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you were in sales and you were constantly having to like meet people, selling B2C is different. And I think that all the changes that Brian just mentioned are actually a blessing in disguise for you, Candance, because you can get your message tied with the products that you sell in front of a new group of people that might not have been in the mindset to be on Facebook or be in the mindset to be on Instagram. They gravitate towards LinkedIn. You have a new way of getting in front of them. But I mean, like, use it as much of the free as you possibly can until, as Brian said, you find a need to actually pay to get more.
Okay. Well, I'm just starting to get out there on LinkedIn, so we'll see. Thank you. It was very helpful.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I'll leave the group with on this is that it's really important to remember you should always be leading with value. So even though we as business owners and I mean, we all are all salespeople. I think every person on the planet is a salesperson in some fashion. It's really important just to remember that no one wants to be sold to, but they're okay if you give them some value. You know, go back to my old mantra of demonstrate you can help by actually helping. Give them some value up front, build the rapport, build the connection. Social media is all about building a community. And if you're leveraging that aspect of it, you're always going to lead with value. Whether that value is just, hey, I'm here to listen, or provide a different opinion if you're interested, or you actually have something for them to engage with, great. I would just say always try and lead with value. All right, Brian, I see you furiously breaking people into breakouts. So I'll just give one little pitch here for our ongoing SEO for the Small Business Bootcamp. I did not update this again. Dang it, I thought I did. But we launched officially on February 8th. Thank you for several of you who are here tonight, who are taking part in the bootcamp. If you want to join us, you can do so, but I'll go over quickly of what we're kind of going out to accomplish in this bootcamp. We're really diving in to the basics of SEO, really covering our 3 main things that you should care about as a small business owner or a business owner or a large business owner. These things are applicable across the board. It doesn't even matter what kind of business you have. Diving in with a professional website analysis done by yours truly, teaching you how to create valuable content, helping you build a system and giving you the outline for how to create a system so that you can create content consistently and do so it's not overwhelming to you. You don't have to worry about writing. If you're not good at writing, you can be on camera, you can not be on camera. There are tons of ways to actually create the content, but doing it consistently is the hardest part of doing that. And that's what Google and other search engines actually look for, is that doing it consistently is a big element there. And then at the end of everything, once you've implemented all of the changes on your website, or we've helped you build a new website, we actually give you that professional review again to tell you where you still have opportunities for improvement and growth, what the things you've done are actually doing for your website, and help you to actually find more opportunities as we grow forward. So in addition to all of the training and live weekly calls for this particular segment of the training and learning, we also are giving you 12 months of access to our Mastermind Plus membership, where you get access to all of the recorded content that we have for the masterminds since May of 2020. I think it was Sheila who pointed out a major flaw that we're having an issue with right now with YouTube's and loading some of these videos. So thank you for telling me about that, Sheila. I am working on that, so I'll have that fixed tonight. But you get access to all of these things. You get access to all the resources that we talk about here on the Mastermind, and some that we don't. And also some of those tips and tricks videos, like I'll be doing around LinkedIn and using the settings properly, as just an example. So if you want to get access to that, you can pay $60 a year, $5 a month, not that much. But if you're also interested in the SEO, why not save the $60? And instead of paying us $160, you can just pay us $100, actually less than $100, $99, and you'll get access to all of that for a full year anyway. So that's my pitch, $99. If you want to go, we'll throw the link in the chat here, adaptandthrivemastermind.com.